So hello, welcome to week 2 of Conflict of Interest. For those who missed last week, a little previously on, Tim Boland and Chloe Shore meet in college and become fast friends and become journalists later in their life. And Tim Boland takes on the pen name Tuck Brockton, and Chloe Shore becomes his editor at Hip Magazine. So the cast will now introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tristan Andrews-Preston, and I'm playing Tim or Tuck Brockton.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Paquin, and I'm playing Chloe Shore.
Hey there, I'm Doug Shapiro, and I'm playing Ash of Catchy Band Name.
I am Joel Barber. I'm playing Flash of Catchy Band Name.
I am Joe Borsody, and I am playing Bobby of also Catchy Band Name.
Okay, so I'm going to disappear, and we will start.
Scene 2, Cafe 80s, New York City. Tim, now officially going by Tuck Brockton, is a 26-year-old journalist. He is sitting at a table waiting for the 3 members of Catchy Band Name, who he has to interview for an article for Hip. He is wearing a nicely fitted dress shirt and slacks. He still wears glasses, but the frames are more fashionable. He now sports a neat goatee. He is visibly annoyed because the band is an hour late. The members of the band, Ash on guitar, and lead vocals Flash on bass, and Bobby, the drummer, stroll over. They are a pop-punk group dressed in ripped jeans and band t-shirts.
Hello, I'm Tuck. Glad you guys made it. Fashionably late will always be in style.
That's what we were going for.
I understand that you guys are busy, so let's just jump right in.
Bring it on.
So, first off, Ash, Flash, and Bobby?
Yep.
Ash and Flash are nicknames. Our real names are both Ashley. Originally, we had the idea of being a band of Ashleys, but Bobby crushed the audition.
Because Bobby plays drums, we thought Bash would be a great way to keep the Ash theme going. He even gave an ultimatum about the name.
But you called their bluff.
Uh-huh.
So, what are your influences?
Our primary influence has always been Green Day.
Does it go any deeper than that?
Well, naturally, we know that Green Day was influenced by early punk bands like the Ramones and the Clash, which we all respect, but Green Day had a more direct influence on me. I had an older brother who was obsessed with them.
Yeah, it was Green Day that made me want to join a band. The album Dookie really connected with me on a personal level. None of us cared for their later albums, especially Warning.
Oh God, what a dreadful album.
Wait. I quite like that album. What are your problems with it? I thought it showed both musical and lyrical growth on the part of the band that ultimately led to American Idiot.
We all respect their desire to grow musically, but for me, I didn't like what they grew into. They just seemed to have lost what made them so great.
That being?
Their early work had this great existential feel to it, that with each progressive album seemed to get lost. By the time Warning came around, they were just alternating between tired rebellion songs and ballads.
I disagree with that, but let's put a pin in that for now. What exactly is existential about Green Day?
There's an incredible sense of apathy and loneliness on Dookie.
Yeah, but how does that make the album existential?
Well, existentialism is the idea that we are alone in the universe.
You'll have to forgive me. I haven't taken a philosophy class since college, so I'm a bit rusty. But if I recall correctly, the belief that there's no God was a key aspect for some existentialists, but that doesn't necessarily mean apathy and loneliness. Isn't existentialism more about exploring what having no God means and trying to find one place within the world?
Have you read Albert Camus' The Stranger?
No, but I have a feeling I wish I had.
You should. It's one of my favorite books.
You see, Camus was at the forefront of existential fiction writers.
Wait, have you all read it?
Yep.
You know, Bob, you don't say much. Got a sort of Silent Bob thing going, huh? I dig it.
It's my ambition to say in 10 sentences what other men say in whole books.
Nice Nietzsche pull, Bobby.
Thanks.
Oh, jeez. Now you guys are quoting Nietzsche? I'm seriously feeling at an intellectual disadvantage. How is it that you're all familiar with existentialism?
We were all philosophy majors in college.
It's how we met.
Interestingly enough, in a class on existential authors.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Anyway, The Stranger is in essence about a man that feels alone and incredibly removed from the world. So much so that he doesn't care to save his own life.
Dookie may not exactly tap into that, but on a song like Longview, where you have a protagonist who claims that masturbation has lost its fun, which, let's face it, for a teenage boy isn't that different from not caring to save your own life.
I don't know. I still think it's a stretch to call Dookie an existential work simply because it deals with issues of loneliness and apathy. I know I felt alone and apathetic from time to time. That doesn't make me an existentialist.
Maybe so, but when you're young and you're trying to find your place in the world, that in a way is an existential exploration.
But that in itself doesn't make every teen or 20-something an existentialist. To claim Dookie and all teens are existential only works metaphorically, as a deeper meaning is unintended. I'm sorry, but do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once, while clever doesn't scream profound philosophical thought?
Just because something shows up in a piece of artwork and is unintentional doesn't mean that it's unimportant. The fact that it's unintentional is irrelevant.
No, you guys seem like you're over-intellectualizing something that is relatively simple and pure. What made Dookie so good was that it captured teen angst and humor so well. If you're going to choose a Green Day album to discuss existentialism with, American Idiot would seem to be a better fit, as it focuses on a disillusioned young man that's trying to discover how to live in a society that he has lost his faith in.
I guess we'll have to simply agree to disagree.
Fair enough. We sort of got off track there.
No worries. It's not like we get to wax that philosophical anymore.
Glad to be of service. So, any chance I can get you to re-listen to Warning?
Don't press your luck.
Scene 3. Tuck's office at Hip. Tuck sits at his desk, his lanky body bent over as he vigorously types. His hair is disheveled from running it through his fingers repeatedly out of frustration. The glow of his computer screen provides the only light on stage. The sun went down an hour ago, but Tuck was so intent on finishing what he was writing that he couldn't be bothered with turning on a light. Tuck bites his lower lip in anticipation of the conclusion to his article. A slight grin comes across his face as he writes the concluding sentence of the article on Catchy Band Name.
As the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. In the case of Catchy Band Name, the cover of their book hides a text that is far more thoughtful than anyone could have imagined.
Leaning back in his chair, Tuck smiles widely and hits save. He stands up, hits the lights, stretches, cracks his back a few times, and does a brief victory dance. He looks proudly at the wall, which features his favorite articles framed. As he turns to look at them closer, his smile turns to a frown. His euphoric feelings of accomplishment begin to fade away. He begins pacing and glares down at his computer. Grumbling to himself, Tuck sits back down. While reading through his words, he occasionally stops to rephrase or move sentences around. But for the most part, he just shakes his head in shame.
This is shit. I've written a steaming pile of shit. Was I sitting on a chair or a toilet when I wrote this?
Chloe knocks on Tuck's open office door and comes in before Tuck can even respond.
You talking to yourself again? What did I tell you about that? You don't want people to think you're crazy, do you?
Hey, how's it going?
Took my first day off in what feels like a year.
Good for you. You should probably do that more often. All work and no play makes Chloe a mean editor.
Gosh, since when have I ever been a mean editor?
Well, you weren't too pleased when that Brad Pitt interview fell through?
Well, that was Brad Pitt. He was going to be our cover.
Yeah, you threw a chair.
A slander. I pushed a chair.
It went flying across the room.
It was on wheels.
Whatever you say, She-Hulk.
Anyway, the day was a bust. I was going to go for a run, and then it rained. I was going to get a mani-pedi, and the place was closed. Then I thought, okay, how about a massage? And now I am in more pain than before I laid on the damn table. I'm beginning to think Murphy's Law should be renamed Chloe's Law.
Mani-pedi, I didn't even think that phrase was in your vocabulary.
I'm allowed to feel pretty too, you know. But I just thought I'd stop by the office to see if anyone was around. Let's face it, to see if you were around. You're nothing if not predictable. I figured you hadn't eaten. I brought you Taco Bell.
You know the way to my heart.
You know it. I got the 3 food groups here: chicken, steak, and ground meat substitute.
What would the world be like without ground meat substitute?
You know, why don't you just get it over with and then move your bed into the office?
Well, I did just get off the phone with the movers. Just wanted to get the okay from you before I go ahead.
It's fine with me. You could sublet your apartment and make a little extra cash on the side. So why are you here? Well, everyone else is out enjoying their weekend.
I just finished the Catchy Band Name article.
And?
Same old, same old.
What's that supposed to mean?
That it's like everything else I've ever written.
Well, good. That's why I hired you.
Yeah, I guess, but it's just so light and fluffy.
Well, if you feel your writing is not up to snuff, I guess I'll have to let you go. I mean, just because I'm your friend as well as your editor doesn't mean I won't fire you.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. Listen, Mr. Grumpy Pants, can you just not right now? I've had a shitty day and you aren't helping, so just send me the article. I'll read it tonight and I'll tell you whether it sucks in the morning. Meet me back here at 9 a.m. Bring coffee and bagels.
All right. What kind of coffee and bagel do you want?
I don't know. Figure it out.
Scene 4. Tuck's office at Hip. Tuck arrives promptly at 9 a.m.
Tuck Brockton on time? Wow. This must be some kind of funk you are in if the punctuality has been brought out in you.
So it would seem. Here's your caramel macchiato and a poppy seed bagel with vegetable cream cheese.
I knew you'd nail the order. Okay. I'm going to cut to the chase. Why do you have so much disdain for this new article?
Well, for one thing, I ended the damn thing with a cliche. As the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. I sound like a jackass.
So rewrite the ending. I'll admit it's not the best button on a story you've come up with, but other than that, it's an entertaining read. The philosophical punks angle really works. This certainly is on par with the rest of your writing.
I don't know. I think last night I just realized my limitations as a writer and it depressed me. All I ever write are those entertaining puff pieces. My work has no depth. I really should have ripped into those pretentious punks for their insane pseudo-intellectual shtick, but instead I went light and portrayed them as witty academics turned rockers.
Tuck, don't interrupt and listen carefully. You could have been the kind of snotty writer who gets bitchy about their subjects, but that just isn't your style, and you're a better writer for it. There's enough cynical dillweeds on the internet to fill the Mariana Trench. We've always strived to be better than that. Just because you can only write one thing doesn't mean you're untalented. It simply means you found your niche and you're damn good at it. You wouldn't be where you are now if it wasn't for this silly puff piece. Go back and reread this last article. There are some really nice moments.
I don't need to reread the article to find the good parts. I know they were good. I guess the stress of the job is getting to me. I'm afraid I'm going on autopilot. I have my random digressions gimmick, and I feel it's making me stale and predictable.
Or you could see it as you're developing a trademark, a brand.
A brand, huh?
Absolutely. Your voice is unique to you. That's not easy to cultivate in a market that's saturated by everyone with an internet connection and a 5th grade reading level.
Oh no, don't stop now. You're on a roll.
You're Tuck Brockton, the guy that gets celebrities into casual conversations and debates about everyday stuff. That's what people want, to see that these larger than life people they admire are just like them. You do that. And trust me, I understand feeling like you're in a rut, but that doesn't undermine what you've already done. All writers are insecure about their writing. It's the writer's plight. We always think our stuff is crap.
You know, it really is a miracle anything ever gets published. Thanks for the pep talk.
Hey, it's what I do. We all fall into abysses of self-pity from time to time. It's just a matter of how quickly you can climb out of it and whether you are able to find something worthwhile down there. But you're good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Wunderbar. Because on a more selfish note, I need you in top form because something big just fell into my lap last night.
I should have known there were ulterior motives to your kindness and your understanding.
Naturally. After I left the office last night, I got a call from Emma Embry's agent. She's promoting her new movie, some sci-fi thing. She isn't too keen on it, apparently. She's skipping the press junkets altogether. Her agent convinced her to do one interview, and she's giving it to us under the condition that you do it. She's a big fan, apparently, likes your off the beaten path style. What do you mean you can't do it? This is not an option. I thought we just covered this. You're a good writer. Hell, you were requested by name by one of the fastest rising stars in recent years. That has to be a massive ego boost.
I have a conflict of interest.
This better be a damn good conflict.
She's that Emma.
That Emma who?
You know, the park bench, the day we met.
Wait. Her? Wait, Emma? Wait, why didn't you tell me she was Emma Embry?
It wasn't like she was Emma Embry at the time. And what was I supposed to say? Hey, remember that girl I told you about several years ago? Yeah, she's that hot new starlet.
I don't know. You could have, but Tuck, we can't pass on this. We're still a young magazine. This would be huge for us.
Well, if she isn't going to talk to me, then there's really nothing I can do about it, is there?
Well, maybe this is her way of reaching out to you. She has to know it's you. It would only take a Google search to discover Tuck Brockton as a pseudonym.
Actually, I've done a pretty good job at keeping Tim and Tuck separate. It's not like there's a Wikipedia page about me. Even my LinkedIn page says Tuck on it, and I have a second professional Facebook page for Tuck. At this point, it's really only my family that insists on calling me Tim. I don't think she'd make the connection with a casual Google search. She'd really have to dig.
Maybe she won't recognize you. I mean, your hair looks different. You're a snappier dresser. You've got facial hair. Take your glasses off. You're a whole new man.
I'm not Superman. Taking my glasses off won't suddenly make me unrecognizable.
Actually, if you want to get technical, Superman put on the glasses to become the journalist.
Cute, very cute.
People see what they want to see. Emma will be expecting Tuck Brockton, so she may take you at face value.
When did my life become a contrived 90s sitcom? I half expect Uncle Jesse or Steve Urkel to come around the corner.
Nah, I got someone else on the John Stamos interview.
Cut it out.
Oh, don't you mean cut it out? Is that it? Wait, that's the wrong Full House, Uncle.
Can you please stop? I know you're trying to disarm me with your winning sense of humor, and any other day it would work, but this is serious. I'm not going to pose as someone I'm not just to score an interview.
Oh, come on. You pose as Tuck Brockton in every one of your interviews. If she doesn't recognize you and you don't say anything, what's the big deal?
It's dishonest. I don't know if I like this more manipulative side of you. This whole exclusive thing has really got you hungry for the spotlight, huh?
No, that's not it. When the publisher got wind of this interview, he started putting a lot of pressure on me to make sure we landed this. Emma has a huge social media presence, and if she shares the article, it would be a massive win for the magazine. I'm still having to prove myself here every single day. As long as we're succeeding, I feel safe, but I feel like I'm one screw up from losing my job. I know that sounds like a guilt trip, but it's not.
Did the publisher say that to you?
No. It's probably just my own insecurities. But this could really help get the magazine out of our niche following. I feel gross because I'm regurgitating the same speech I was just given by the publisher, which, given the circumstances, isn't fair. But look at it this way. Maybe this isn't a bad thing. Perhaps this is your opportunity to finally find out what went wrong all those years ago.
Wait, so now I'm telling her who I am?
Just meet her. If she doesn't recognize you, do the interview. And you know, if it feels right, reveal your true identity, because that would be a great angle to have.
You don't think she might be a teensy bit upset by the ruse?
Maybe, but please just give it a shot.
Fine. I'll go meet her, but I'm doing this as a favor to a friend and not because you are my editor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's going to come to the office. She doesn't want to be hounded in public, but hey, we can really lean into the 90s sitcom of it, and I can call you 10 minutes into the interview, and if it's going bad, you'll have an out.
Fine. And if it goes south, you'll have my back with the publisher?
Yes, of course. Trust me, this will work out great.
For the record, I still think this is a bad idea.
Duly noted.
Where I can show myself.
You're there. Just talk.
Okay, so thanks for everybody for watching, and come back next week and find out how the interview goes with Emma Embry. Ooh. So thanks again to everybody in my cast. It was great, and bye everybody.
Bye everyone.